Welcome back, Nedbank Pitch and Polish fans. From me, your host, Khosi Khalil. Tonight is a big night because tonight we're kicking off round 2 of the competition, and it's safe to say that things are heating up. So stay tuned. Before we get started on tonight's pitches, I want to say a special thank you to all our sponsors. I'm an entrepreneur myself, so it has been such a privilege to be a part of this project and to see for myself the knowledge, support, and value the contestants have been receiving. This really is a life-changing opportunity for an entrepreneur. And that's before you factor in the first prize worth 1 million rand. And none of it would be possible without our title sponsor Nedbank, program organizer Race Corp, and venue sponsor the Business Exchange, who've hosted all our learning and guiding sessions in their flexible office spaces. So here we are at the start of round 2. We've already said goodbye to half of our original 16 contestants, and the remaining 2 contestants from each of the 4 groups will go head to head until only 1 remains, leaving us with just 4 contestants going into the semi-final round. That means that every episode in round 2 includes an elimination. I'm not sure my nerves can take it. We also get to hear from Yasmin Ali, who is returning with pitch analysis, helping you and I to polish our own pitches, right? But for now, let's recap the competition standings. Returning for round 2 from the red group, we have Keenan and Lutando. From the green group, we have Sbongiseni and Bandile. We have Braden and Avi and Kolane from the yellow group. And as you saw last week, from the blue group, we have Cheslin and Phumulile. Is your favorite contestant still in the game? Well, you can let us know on social media. I hope you are as eager as I am to see how our top 8 have polished their pitches between the first and second rounds. But first, I want to reintroduce you to some familiar faces. For round 2 of the competition, we welcome back retail and property executive Mona Lisa Sam. And in their regular seats, we have Monique Chinna from Nedbank and the CEO of Race Corp, Alon Reyes. Before we get into the serious stuff, here's a reminder about our viewer prize, and that if you want to be the lucky winner of the 5,000 Rand Avo Super Shop voucher, courtesy of Nedbank, and the Race Corp mentorship package, you'll need to answer a question about tonight's pitches. Now, before we get into the first pitch of the night, let's check in with Yasmin Ali for some pitch analysis, where she will be looking at some first round pitches and what we are able to learn from them.
Hi, and welcome to another Pitching Principles segment for Pitch and Polish. Have you ever completely blanked? You know, that feeling where you know that you know your stuff, but your brain just refuses to access the files needed. It's not that the English isn't Englishing, but more like the brain isn't braining. This happens to all of us at some point, but I dare say that a pitching competition is probably the worst place for it. This seems to be what happens to Cheslin from Innoble at the worst possible moment, right at the beginning of his pitch.
So my background in procurement started at Sapariba. I started my journey with, it led me
He
to
never really
establishing-
recovers from this. He stumbles over his words, his body language goes rigid, and you can almost hear the panic in his voice. This is usually caused by one of 2 things. The first is a lack of preparation. When we get caught off guard or aren't expecting the scene we're confronted with, we freeze, and in freezing, our minds go blank. The second, ironically, is over-preparing. When we're over-prepared, any change or mistake will trip us up and the mind doesn't know what to do next, so it just does nothing. So given that we must be prepared but shouldn't over-prepare, what do? In a real-world setting, always have some visual aid to assist you with where to go next. But what about 90 seconds? A trick that works well is to prepare the questions you want to answer in your pitch rather than the answers verbatim. The next tip is that when you're practicing, always try to get to a little under your allocated time. For 90 seconds, you want to aim for 85 seconds. That way, if you stumble, you know that you have time to breathe. Speaking of which, the third tip is just to take a breath, collect your thoughts, recover, and then push through. A bad pitch isn't the end of the world. After all, Cheslin made it to the next round. Figure out what went wrong and do better next time, because there will always be a next time. Thank you so much for joining me for another pitching tip. Back to you, Khosi.
Thanks, Yaz. And the analysis of Cheslin's first pitch came at just the right time, because first up at the mic tonight from the Blue Group, let's welcome back Cheslin Denman from Innoble.
Welcome, Cheslin.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Cheslin, we are now in the second round, right? And in this round, you get 2 minutes to pitch as opposed to 1.5 in the last round. And we are really hoping that you've taken all the input from the last round and you've adapted your pitch for this time. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
You've done that. Cool. Cheslin, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pitch and polish.
Hi, my name is Cheslin Denman. I'm the co-founder of Innoble. We have developed a digital solution that is able to transform SMMEs within South Africa through an all-in-one platform. Now, in South Africa, there are 2.6 million SMEs, and only 900,000 of those SMEs are formally registered. Their challenges are navigating compliance to unlock supply chain access, as well as getting access to funding for business growth. Innoble solves those issues. Unlike systems like GovChain and MyDo, we link your business goal directly to the specific requirements in compliance in your industry. And once we verify you, we unlock critical supply chain opportunities through partners, as well as provide you with access to funding so you can complete the orders that you receive. Now, this helps SMMEs throughout the whole journey in supply chain. On our current platform, we have developed a supply chain portal which has 50% automation, and we've created a platform for buyers, right, at 40% automation. The buyers portal is an enhancement tool that is able to help with visibility and mitigate risk for supply chains from a transparency perspective. Our current performance in our business, we have had 55% growth year on year, and we have over 3,000 suppliers on our platform, with only 1,200 actively utilizing our service on a monthly basis. We believe that the procurement solution build will be a game changer. Our ask for 650,000 Rand is to continuously build this buyers portal, as well as increase our automation by 60%. We are looking to create a digital dashboard to help procurement teams with that visibility. Our transactional fees, well, our transaction subscriptions, 70% of our business is transactional, 20% is funding, and 10% is subscriptions.
Cheslin, maybe you're going to be lucky and get some questions that are going to answer those last few sentences.
Awesome.
All right, let's start with you, Monique.
Morning, Cheslin.
Morning, Monique.
Very interesting. I like I said previously, nobody gets up in the morning to do compliance, so I think it's a very, very worthy business in terms of meeting a need. I see that your focus is wanting to enhance the automation on the platform. So that's going to be more tech development on your side. What I've learned over the years is tech development and costs never end. So from MVP, you're always enhancing, and it just goes on in order to innovate and stay ahead of the curve. What are you doing, though, besides the tech, to make sure that you are going to be innovative and stay ahead of this curve?
So we are trying to formulate with business relationship and partnerships with corporates. As you know, a lot of corporates, example like PPC, have a massive supply chain, and a lot of them are redundant suppliers. They're not actually not being utilized. So we get that adoption in, and we actually can filter them through our verification checks. So as much as we want to, that is a manual process at the moment. So that onboarding, getting them in, scraping the data from every SME, that's where that build and the money will go through from that development perspective. We're also looking at marketing, getting ourselves out there. So we're looking at spending about 15% of that budget of 650,000 on marketing with human resource business developers going out there. As you know, on the social media is one thing, but guys on the ground knocking on a door, that's where we're looking at that business development aspect as well.
So are you looking to actually integrate with sort of the private sector procurement systems?
Correct, yes.
So like with your SAP or Reba?
Oracle, Yonder,
okay.
all of those institutions, yes.
Okay.
Systems.
Thank you.
Lisa?
Cheslin, good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, maybe it's also building on to Monique's questions. You noted that you've had 55% growth year on year. I just want to get into the specifics of what you believe has contributed to that growth. Is the aspiration to enhance those aspects that you have concentrated on, or is there new opportunity outside of the technology? Because I think that's always going to be, you're a digital platform, that's what you're always going to have to do. Just want to understand what other growth opportunities you are focusing on.
So as one part of our business, there's also a real social impact. As I worked in procurement before, a lot of guys would come from Guguletu to Kailicha, Alexandria to offices, and they don't have education of understanding. So part of that, we're looking to build this impact where we can actually educate and take small businesses from a manual process and transform them into digital. The 1,800 SMMEs that we have on our platform that they're not youth, we provide that workshops, training, mentorship. We give them that assistance for free at no cost. So those kind of functionalities of building a library for educational purposes, that's where we all want to go into the future, but we first got to make the money.
I was about to say, because what does that, it's free for them, but what does that cost you as a business who's providing that?
It takes time. It takes a little bit of software integrations, like with the likes of their platforms, social media platforms. So it's buying those services. But what entirely happens is once you coach that SME, he understands the importance of compliance and unlocking it, and that trickles in terms of their transactional revenue increasing for us over time. Because as long as he understands that I need a COIDA, I need a SARS, I need a VAT, he then maybe saves his pennies in his pocket to come back to us to get it because he got the education from us.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Cheslin, a couple of quick questions, if you can answer them quickly. You mentioned 50% automation. What does that mean in English?
So we have a platform where suppliers can log on, a dashboard, they can upload their documents, and we then get it on the back end of our AWS system. We have integrations with CIPC, so we can pick up.
So is that automation?
That's all automated.
Okay,
so
that's the automation part. Okay. At the end, you started talking about your revenue streams. There were 3, if I remember correctly.
Correct, sir.
Just elaborate a little bit on each.
70% transactional.
Well, 70% of what? Of your revenue, 70% of the numbers,
Revenue.
70% of revenue, right?
Revenue.
Right.
20% of that is funding applications that we do for our SMEs, and subscriptions is 10%
Okay.
of our revenue.
Last question. Are you profitable?
Not yet. We're not yet profitable.
What's the road to profitability? 3 months, 6 months, 6 years?
I would say it's in my projections, we're looking at 2025 will be our sustainability.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Cheslin. You may leave.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Phumulile, what thoughts?
I think I may have missed the opportunity to just ask more on the differentiation. He mentioned his competitors, but I still didn't quite get the differentiation that sets him apart. I think he's still obviously building the model, making sure that it works and is sustainable, but I missed the differentiation. So,
Any your thoughts?
I'm glad he gathered his nerves from the last time. I was definitely stronger this time.
Yeah.
I would have also liked to dive down into these revenue streams to understand, because it seemed as though the main aim is subscriptions, right? But the transactional products, I just couldn't quite understand why that was where he was making his revenue.
Yeah,
So
and
I
that's
would-
70% you
that's
mentioned.
Yeah, that's a
70%.
big chunk.
Yeah. I also don't know what those quantums are, you know, so it's hard to work out if it's
Relative.
worthwhile doing that, and if there's a growth, you know, it might be that right now the transactional is 70%, but the second revenue stream is, you know, on the increase and has a higher margin. So yeah, but you know, you had 2 minutes to pitch. So
And there's big players in this market.
Mm.
Your SAP, your Reba, Oracle, it's big players, you know. And what is going to keep him relevant for small businesses beyond,
100%.
you know, just the software he's built?
yeah, let's get scoring.
Cheslin,
I'm back.
you're back. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm really overjoyed.
You're overjoyed. I mean, you started off very confident. You're back. You're first for the second round. How do you feel?
Dude, I was here last time for the first round. I buckled. It was God that helped me get here. But I oiled my pitch. I think I executed good enough. I feel confident.
So, what did you do different in your preparation?
I think my coach helped me calm myself down firstly. I took my pitch and I made it my own because I live this every day. And I didn't want to overdo things. I kept it simple, to the point, and I think my delivery and the way I projected was perfect.
Alon did mention that, you know, the questions would bring out those last two sentences, did they?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you did have an overall pitch. You're confident. You're not going to be eliminated.
I don't think so.
All right.
Honestly, let's see.
Yeah.
But I feel anointed. I feel I got the spirit and I
Yeah.
came confident. I think I gave my best shot and I think it's going to be good enough.
Cheslin, I'm wishing you all the best. And we hope to see a lot from Cheslin in this competition.
Thank you.
Now that was a confident pitch. But it's a real pity he ran out of time. But if you remember, the judges gave Cheslin some pretty brutal feedback after his first pitch, with Alon saying it was the worst pitch of the entire round. But he really seems to have taken their feedback on board and he adapted his pitch accordingly. Nicely done, Cheslin. We're off to a great start. Next up, representing Mpumalanga, please welcome back Phumulile Mkhonza of PSD Scent Perfumes. Good luck, Phumulile.
Welcome, Phumulile.
Thank you very much, judges.
Right, so you know that this time it's 2 minutes, right? And you know that we're
100%.
expecting you to have taken all the feedback from the last round and bring it into this round. And the last round, Mona Lisa wasn't a judge, so she's going to be hearing it for the first time, which is a nice mix. And yeah, we're going to wish you good luck for today.
Thank you so much.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pitch and polish.
Good day, judges. My name is Pumi Mkhonza, the founder of PSD St. Perfumes. We specialize in manufacturing, wholesaling, and distribution of personal body care, home care, and car care products. Our vision for the next 3 years is to have our own production plants, have 200 distributors across South Africa, Mozambique, and Swaziland, and be making a revenue of 5 million rand per annum. Our current distributor model is business to business and business to customer, and it revolves around network marketing, where we recruit distributors that buy and resell our products in bulk. In our 2 years of operation, we have managed to acquire working capital, production machinery, set up a distribution center, employ a team of 8, and exhibited for the Business Show Africa, which is one of the biggest business shows. From 1st March 2023 to March 2024, we have turned over a revenue of 1,076 rand. We are a proud member of the Cosmetic Toiletry Fragrance Association of South Africa to stay in line with industry trends. We are currently working our ISO 9001 accreditation to be able to streamline our processes and produce quality products. With the 650 investment, we will be able to spend it in 3 ways. Firstly, we'll spend 40% into enhancing our reseller model by creating competitive packages, training our distributors on products and customer sales and training. 30% will go towards investing in kiosks that will benefit us in income generation and brand visibility, and be able to help us create trust and credibility amongst our clients. The rest of the 30% will go towards aggressive marketing. We'll be able to do brand activations in key locations, business presentations, and be able to procure stock and packaging that will be able in us to feed our kiosks. Thank you for the opportunity.
Perfect timing. All right, let's go to Monalisa.
Morning, Phumulile. Phumulile, why did you go into this business? It sounds like a simple question, but why are you in this business?
Firstly, I believe that smelling good and looking good should be a standard for all. With our exuberant prices that we pay for our designer perfumes, I felt that it was important to actually create products that are not only affordable, but of high quality for our customers, and the passion for it.
And how are you differentiating? Why would I buy your product?
So we produce generic fragrances. However, we are also producing South African inspired fragrances, which is what we've seen the South African fragrance market. The trend is moving towards that. So not only do we provide the generic fragrances, but what makes us different is that we are able to give you a South African feeling when it comes to your scents, whether it's in your car, whether it's in your home, or on your body.
Monique?
What is a South African inspired scent?
So I've got my two signature. I've got vanilla, which the customers really love, champagne and roses, which the champagne is French, but the roses proudly South African. And we also have cherry. Those are the three scents that are our best sellers and are South African inspired.
Okay. In terms of your operations, I'd like to understand what dependencies you have in terms of sourcing the actual scents, etc. And how are you overcoming that?
Okay. So in terms of sourcing, we have suppliers that we source from, that we buy in bulk from. However, because we are a manufacturer, we're able to control our turnaround times and also respond to our consumer trends in terms of what scents they like, what scents they do not like. Because we actually manufacture in-house and we only source the raw material and the bottles, we're able to quickly respond to the market in terms of trends.
Are the raw materials sourced locally or?
Sourced locally, correct. We've got local, all our suppliers are local, proudly South African.
Great, thank you.
Right. You spoke about recruiting your resellers. How do you recruit?
Currently, we recruit through brand activations. So what we do is we visit key locations where we see there's feet in the malls, or whether it's shopping centers. We get referrals and then we call people back to be able to explain more about our products. We also do business presentations to stock files, to churches, where we're able to tell people about our products. Most importantly, delve into our commission structure and our incentives.
Okay, and then you spoke about the 40%. 40% of the 650,000 would be spent on what?
Firstly, on enhancing our reseller model by making it.
Yeah, explain that. What does that mean?
So we'd like to make our reseller model profitable, efficient, and sustainable.
But I'm
how
trying to
we'll
work
do
out
this?
Yes, how do you use the money?
So
that's what I couldn't work out.
Right. So how we'll do this, we need to create competitive packages because our competitors have actually very enticing business packages for distributors. So we'd like to structure this reseller model.
But how does that use cash? Restructuring is, okay, 2 of those, 3 of those, and X percentage. I'm trying to work out how you use 40% of 650,000 Rand to restructure a package.
Okay, so it'll go into the restructuring. It'll also go into training of our distributors when it comes to customer service. It'll also go on to onboarding our distributors in terms of procuring systems that will ensure that we have got quality control so that we ensure that our distributors resemble the brand appropriately.
Okay, last question from me. You spoke about the fact that a quality product. You said that the customers know how would I know it's a quality product? What does it say on the product that I know it's quality?
Firstly, before the boxing, before what it says, the way it feels. That's why I'd asked for you to actually get the the box and feel it. So we've used a matte finishing, which exudes sophistication, so quality in terms when you look at it. And we've listed our ingredients. We also delved into our bottling. We made sure it's glass, heat pressed. We didn't use stickers so that it exudes that sophistication and it just screams high quality.
Right, that's it from me. Well done on your pitch. You may leave.
Thank you.
So what do you think of the pitch?
I enjoyed the pitch. She's also improved quite a lot from the last time. I think that she wobbled on her numbers quite a bit. In the last one, I thought she was very clear about what her numbers were and how she was going to use the money. But I think she wobbled a bit on the numbers. 40% towards repackaging or packaging just didn't make sense, because you've already got the distributor model, you've already got the staff, your resellers in place. Wasn't quite getting that spend. Yes.
Your thoughts?
I don't know if I'm in a difficult mood, but I miss the authenticity in this one. For me, that's why I asked the question of why is she in the business. It doesn't seem to be. I mean, I think when you are in a very competitive environment, the authenticity and the why for me is important, because otherwise it's just perfume.
That's a brilliant point.
Yeah, so maybe I'm just in a difficult mood, but I'm not wowed.
I've known you for many years. You're never in a difficult mood. Great. Yeah, I also love the fact there was a different pitch. I agree with the numbers. I'm still tripping over the fact that she's in too many things. She's like calling all pockets, as they say. She's in manufacturing, wholesale, retail. She's in personal
Reselling.
Personal cars and candles, I think was the other, and home. So she's all things to all people in all markets. You know, so, but a much better pitch. Much better pitch, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Let's go scoring.
Cool.
Pumi,
Hi.
how you doing?
Feeling very settled now that I've pitched.
You're settled.
Settled, yeah, because the nerves were like kicking in.
Are the nerves settled?
Settled, very much settled. And I'm settled, the fact that I've pitched, today. Did my best, tried my best.
Okay, how did it go?
Well, personally, I think it went well, not as well that I wanted it to go, but it went to the right direction.
What do you mean by that? Like, how different was it from your first pitch?
While I excluded one or two important information that I felt that I should have included, but I covered the gist of, the most important parts. So overall, I'm happy.
And the judges were a little different in terms of the questions that they asked you.
Right.
How did you prepare for this round's pitch?
My business guide and I spent a lot of time really on strategy and, buffering our content. Hence why I think that I did pretty well in answering the questions, because we covered a lot of content. So big ups to my business guide.
So were you waiting for the question for the Q&A side of things, or did you fit everything that you wanted to fit in the actual pitch itself?
Well, it's a bit impossible to fit it in 2 minutes. So, Trust, I was waiting for the Q&A session to be able to answer some questions that, they would want to know more on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you did, speaking of 2 minutes, you finished right on time.
Just in the nick of time. Just like the last round. Like I did in the last round, right?
Right. So
right.
you're getting this timing right.
100%.
And now you've improved on your content.
It's all about pitching and refining your pitch.
Right, Pumi. Wishing you all the best for the
much.
rest of the competition.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
She timed that well, didn't she? And again, you can really see how passionate she is about what she does. So that's the 2 pitches for the night. And in this round, as mentioned earlier, things move quickly and are pretty intense because we're moving swiftly towards an elimination. Judges.
He's here again and he's trying to find out how we've voted.
Judges, first round, I was the nice guy, but obviously there's no more Mr. Nice Guy right now. I need to find out who's going to be eliminated and
you
your
will.
reasons
You will.
for it.
You will.
Wait, are you going to share that now?
Yeah, I'm going to share that now. One of the two is going to be eliminated.
In true South African style, it's going to be now.
No, no.
Alon, Cheslin was a complete comeback. He fell flat on his face in the first round, and he's come back.
Mm-hmm. He has, really. That's a good observation.
Mm. How do you feel he's going to do in this elimination round?
I think he's going to be one of the two for sure. That 100% he's going to be one of the two.
What's going to cause elimination for Cheslin? He's strong. He came out pitching boldly, and he improved in terms of his content delivery. So,
if he were to be eliminated, he'd be eliminated because I'm not so sure he needs this 650,000 Rand. He's had lots of funding so far, and this is a drop in the ocean. So perhaps the other contestant will use the money better to help her, move her business forward.
okay. So, talking about still on Cheslin, Mona Lisa, do you feel that his business is scalable?
Look, I think digital platforms, everybody promises them to be scalable, but I think they often underestimate the actual back-end technology investments that are required to stay ahead of the game. I mean, he's not a unique business. So yes, it's scalable, but it just depends on what you're actually scaling, which focus of your business are you scaling. So yeah, that's my view.
So he's going through.
Remember, I wasn't here, so I wasn't necessarily easily impressed. But let's see. Let's see.
Okay. And Monique, first and second round, you made mention that his business meets a need. So I'd actually like to find out from you, is this who you're going to be funding?
Perhaps, yes. It definitely meets a need. It's definitely a service that entrepreneurs need. But yeah, we'll have to see.
What is the basis for your elimination for this round and this group?
I think it's around looking at whether the business is actually scalable and whether the investment that they get is going to really make an impact, and it is going to be a step change for the business. What we've seen is that a lot of people have gone through a number of programs, and at some point in time, you have to apply those learnings from the programs. You've got to take that investment and you've got to run with it. You can't be continually entering competitions and not making a difference to the business, which is actually your core. So yeah, it's around which business is actually going to scale, and there is going to be that step change from the investment.
And profitability obviously plays a key role. Alon, Cheslin is speaking about being profitable in 2025, but he's currently not profitable. How realistic is this?
Yeah, that's pretty normal for businesses that are growing, that many take many years to become profitable. You just want to make sure that the underlying economics is sound. In other words, that the margins are increasing, the cost of sales is being either maintained or improving, and that expenses are not getting out of whack, because when businesses start to scale, there's a lot of hidden expenses. And I think to Mona Lisa's point, I think he hasn't anticipated the additional costs that come with scale.
So that's going to count against him.
And for him.
And for him. Let's talk about Pumi. So Mona Lisa, in the previous round, she was also asked why she entered into this business in the first place. You asked her the exact same thing. Tell me your thoughts around that. What sense do you get from her?
I mean, the product in itself as a construct isn't unique, right? So if you just take the aspect of scents, there's a reason why people buy expensive scents. There's a reason why people buy alternative scents. And for me, I felt I was missing her authenticity in the story, in the business. and why she needed to be in the business. So yeah, so hearing it for the first time, I didn't get a sense of, yeah, this is it.
Okay. Speaking of this is it, Monique, is that what you're going to be saying in terms of funding her? She broke down exactly how she's going to spend that 650K. Are you going to be like, this is it? This is who I'm funding?
I think I'll expand on what Mona Lisa is saying. You can't be everything to everyone. You can't be doing, the perfumes and the manufacturing. So you're the distributor, you're the manufacturer, you're the, you got to stick to your knitting, because especially in the early stages, if you diversify so much, you're actually not focused enough to deliver something end to end and authentically. So, yeah.
Okay. So it's a yes from you.
It's a definite yes from me, yes.
All right.
It's a definite yes.
I don't know.
The irony, definite yes, I don't know.
Okay. Alon?
It's a definite yes, I don't know.
Now let's join the judges in the pitching arena to find out whether Cheslin or Phumulile will be the first contestant to make it through to the semi-final.
Welcome back to the elimination. I have the unenviable task of choosing between one of the two of you who will be going through to the next round. So before I start, I just want to congratulate both of you on a much improved pitch from the first round. Both of you listened to the feedback and brought that into your pitches. So a big congratulations to both of you. I'm going to start off with you, Phumulile. Okay. Let's start with the positives. You actually, what I enjoyed about your pitch was when you started talking about all the things that you had achieved thus far. I think that's a very powerful way to show progress to an investor, to say, look what I've done so far, and it implies, I'm still going to carry on improving. So it gave a great sense of momentum. I like the fact that you spoke about your authority in the space. You gave us a clue that you deserve to be in the industry, and the pitch itself was very well rounded, and as I said earlier, included all the feedback from the first round. On the negative side, I'm going to say we, but I'll own it. But we have a big issue around the fact that you're a manufacturer, wholesaler, distributor, retailer. Those are very different competencies, and I understand in a small business, you're trying to get margin wherever you can and capture the market wherever you can. But they're very different things. And so when you think about strategy, are you going to roll out more retail, or are you going to spend your money on manufacturing? Now where do you spend your money, as opposed to one focus area? We are manufacturers, or we are retailers, or we are wholesalers. So I know where you are. And add to that the fact that you're in the personal, fragrance space. You're in the car, you're in the home, you're like everywhere. So you're all things to all people, which makes it very difficult for us to understand what differentiates you. You stumbled on the numbers. The numbers weren't, when we pushed you for the numbers, you gave the surface numbers. But when we pushed you on it, we didn't get a strong sense of confidence that you understood the numbers. And I think there was, you were over-rehearsed. The last time it felt a little more authentic. This was a little too rehearsed. And I understand there's big stakes here, and we appreciate you practicing. But you lost your authenticity in the pitch as a result. And we didn't connect you to the business. We didn't feel that you and the business were connected. It felt you were quite robotic in that presentation. Let's move to you, Cheslin. Your nerves last time were terrible. Your nerves are much better this time. You spoke about your differentiator, but and then you also spoke about the fact that you worked in the procurement before. That was in one of the questions. You brought your authority in, which you didn't bring into the pitch, but you sort of caught that up, because if you're watching this for the first time, you would have missed that because you didn't mention the fact that you come from that industry, or I certainly didn't hear it. But what you didn't, you spoke about your competitors and you named them. Now, if we were bad judges, and we certainly aren't, we're good judges, okay? If we were bad judges, we would have pried in there and say, okay, what differentiates you from this one and this? You've given us information to hurt you with. There's no need to name this. Just mention your competition. If I ask you who they are, then you volunteer their names. But to specify them was a dangerous move and might have cost you this round. Your timing, you didn't get your timing right for the pitch. And then another big mistake you made in that pitch was you said only X number of our clients are active. You spoke about the number of your clients and then I can't remember the number, but you gave us, you said only this amount are active, which was a weird statement to make in a pitch. It made you sound bad. So my big question to you, and the question that you have to ask yourself, is what will the competition do? You've got massive competition in the industry. So your two negatives as a business to invest in are you've got massive competition. They've been around for a long time. You're a new player. And they're not going to lie down and say, tickle my tummy if you come in and take away their market, right? And I know you're positioning slightly differently, but that didn't come across strong. And I don't think it's too far for them to come and hurt you. The second thing is that you've got a huge amount of investment thus far. When you submitted your financials, you've got a lot of investment. And the question that the judges are asking is, so what's another 650 going to do? If you look at your dev cost, and I'm in the dev costs, I know what it costs to develop software. Like it's a drop in the ocean. So if you go through to the next round or even win this competition, is it really going to make a difference to you? That's the question. So now we have to decide, based on those two positives and negatives, who goes through to the next round. And the person who will be going through to the next round is Cheslin. Phumulile, well done. Don't lose hope. You were strong. It was the score difference wasn't too far. Yeah, you're doing great stuff, and carry on doing that great stuff. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Congratulations, Cheslin. That was quite the comeback. Phumulile, you flew the Mpumalanga flag high tonight, and I'm very sorry to see you leave. But remember that you made it through to the top 8 in South Africa's biggest pitching competition, which is a big deal in itself. And I'm sure the learning and business mentorship you received during the competition will help you along your business journey. Remember the viewer prize I mentioned earlier? We're giving one lucky viewer 5,000 Rand to spend on whatever they like at the Avo Super Shop, courtesy of Nedbank. And Race Corp is offering you a 1-month strategy mentorship package that includes 4 hours with the Race Corp Business Mentor and a month's free access to Flow Code business scaling software. All you have to do to be in with a chance is answer tonight's questions, which are: 1. Cheslin's business helps SMMEs automate and simplify what process? 2. Go online to flowcodepowered.com and tell us which company Flowcode is a division of. Here's a hint. It's the same company that sponsors the Contestants Learning and Guiding Program. If you think you know the answers, drop us a WhatsApp with your name and the right answers to 066 232 7355 before midnight tonight. All the correct answers will go into a random draw. We'll contact the winner before 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and post their name on social media later this week. That's it for tonight, folks. Make sure you're back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. when we'll find out which of our yellow group contestants will be joining Cheslin in the semi-finals. From me, Khosi, and the rest of the Nedbank Pitch and Polish team, thanks for joining us and good night.
Shoo, I'm just like relieved. Yeah, it's just been a daunting process. As you know, incredible as it's just been very stressful. So very proud of myself actually to have come this far, you know, being eliminated. I am very, very proud. At the same time, disappointed that I didn't make it to the next round, but very proud of how far I've come.